to celebrate America. Former Democrat leader of the California State Senate, Gloria Romero, joins me now. Gloria, what's your reaction?
Guest services. Can I help you, sir?
Cutting off their nose to spite their face.
Well, if you need anything, we're only a call away.
And they're basically canceling America. They're canceling patriotism. I mean, the recent Gallup poll that showed that Democrats, only 36%, basically say they're proud to be an American. What we are seeing in LA County, and there's 10 million of us in LA County, we are basically led by a far left, ultra woke, TDS suffering, fools. And but quite frankly, they are not going to quash our patriotism and joy for this 4th of July. It won't work.
And the fact that celebrating
Hello,
the 4th
sir.
of
Welcome.
July has become controversial
Time for bets,
more about the
please.
state of America than any poll ever did. When communities in Southern California cancel or postpone Independence Day celebrations because of immigration enforcement actions,
Bets are
we are
closed.
witnessing
Good
not
luck.
just a local decision, but a symptom of a deeper
Sitting at
malaise, a
15.
retreat from
Got a
reason,
7.
a surrender
Another?
to emotionalism, and a troubling erosion of the very
15.
principles that
That's
make
20.
a nation
Dealer
possible.
wins.
Let us examine this with the clarity it demands, step by step, for the truth
Let's
is
get those
seldom
bets in.
found in the slogans or sentiments that dominate our
And
public
that
discourse.
closes out the
The
bets.
news reports
Let's
tell us
begin.
that several Southern California cities have canceled
Showing
their
16.
July 4th festivities
Lucky 7.
following recent
Card.
ICE raids. Some officials cite public safety concerns, an excuse so
11.
vague
And
it invites
21.
skepticism.
And the
Others
dealer
are
wins
more
this
candid,
one.
admitting that their communities are, in their words, not in the mood to celebrate America.
Bets, please.
Let us pause and consider the implications. Since when did
Bets
the
are
enforcement
closed.
of
Good
newly
luck.
enacted laws become a reason to suspend the celebration
Got a
of the
7.
nation's founding?
10.
Since when did the act of upholding
Would you
borders,
like another card?
a basic function
And
of
14.
any sovereign state,
Another?
become so divisive that it casts a pall over the very holiday that commemorates the birth of American liberty? To understand this, we must first address the issue of immigration enforcement
19.
itself.
Dealer
Immigration
wins.
laws, like any laws, exist to serve a purpose. They define who may enter a country, under what
Time for
conditions,
bets, please.
and for how long.
And
They are
that
not
closes
mere
out the bets.
suggestions.
Let's begin.
They are the framework that allows a nation to
14.
function as a
Got an
nation.
8.
Without
Card.
borders, there is no nation, just a landmass with
That's
competing
over 21.
interests. The United States, like
10.
every other country in
And
the
the
world,
dealer
has
wins
the
this
right
one.
and the responsibility to control its borders. This is not a radical proposition.
Let's get those bets
It
in.
is a principle as old as civilization
10.
itself. The Roman Empire had its lines, its fortified
There's 20.
boundaries to regulate
3.
who could enter and under what
Would you like
terms.
another card?
Even ancient city-states like Athens had laws governing
16.
who could claim the
That's
privileges
20.
of citizenship.
Another?
To suggest
Card.
that enforcing immigration laws is somehow
Got 5.
an affront
Sitting
to
at
human
15.
decency
Sitting
is
at
to
18.
ignore both history and logic. Yet we are told that these ICE raids carried
Bets,
out under
please.
the authority of federal law have
Bets are
so
closed.
unsettled
Good luck.
certain communities that they cannot bring themselves to celebrate
10.
the 4th of July. Let us
Showing
be clear.
6.
The
Would you
4th
like
of
another
July
card?
is not a celebration of any
13.
particular administration or policy. It
That's
is
12.
a commemoration
Dealer
of principles
wins.
laid out in 1776. Principles declare the right of a people to govern themselves, to establish
Time for
laws,
bets, please.
and to create a society based on individual liberty.
And that closes out the
to govern.
bets. Let's
Cancel
begin.
such a celebration because of disagreement with
All
one
right,
aspect of law
blackjack.
enforcement is to misunderstand,
Showing 9.
willfully or otherwise, what the holiday represents. Consider the reasoning offered by these officials. Public safety is a convenient phrase. Often
Let's get those
deployed
bets
when
in.
real motives are less defensible. If there is a genuine
Bets are
threat to
closed.
public safety,
Good luck.
where is the evidence? Are there credible reports of planned violence
There's
tied to
20.
these celebrations? Are
And
there
9.
specific threats
Another?
that justify shutting down parades, fireworks, or community
Showing 12.
gatherings?
And
The
the
absence
dealer
of
wins
such
this one.
evidence suggests that public safety is a pretext, a way to avoid confronting the real issue of growing
Bets, please.
discomfort with the idea
And that closes
of
out the bets.
America itself.
Let's begin.
The second explanation that residents are not in
10.
the mood to celebrate America is even more
Card.
revealing. It implies that the enforcement of immigration
Lucky
laws
13.
is so offensive to some
Showing
that
16.
it overshadows the very ideals that make America worth celebrating. This is not a recent position. It is an emotional one, and it
Time for
deserves.
bets, please.
Let us ask a simple question: what is
Bets
the
are closed.
alternative to
Good luck.
enforcing immigration laws? Should the United States have no borders at all?
10.
Should anyone who wishes to enter be
Showing a
allowed
3.
to do so
Would you like another
without
card?
restriction or consequence? If so, what becomes of the social contract that binds the nation together?
10.
The late economist Milton
16.
Friedman, a man not
Another?
given to sentimentality, once observed that
Showing
you cannot
16.
have open
Card.
borders and a welfare state
13.
simultaneously. The resources of any nation are
Lucky
finite,
13.
and the generosity of its people, however admirable, cannot extend infinitely. In 2023, the Federation for American Immigration
Let's get
Reform
those bets in.
estimated that illegal immigration costs
And
American
that closes
taxpayers
out the bets.
approximately
Let's begin.
$116 billion annually,
15.
covering everything from education
3.
and healthcare to law enforcement.
Would you like
and
another
welfare.
card?
$160 fucking billion we paying for some fucking legal aliens to be in here illegally that the fucking Democrat rats allowed to come in here. Boy, we stupid.
Heartlessness rather than reasonable debate. This brings
Ready
us
to
to
play?
a larger point about the politicization of national holidays. The 4th of July is not a partisan
That's
event.
12.
It is not a
Dealer
referendum on any
wins.
single policy or administration. It is a moment to reflect on the principles that have allowed this nation to
Bets,
endure
please.
through wars, depressions,
Bets are
and social
closed.
upheavals.
Good luck.
Those principles, individual liberty, the rule of law, the
And
consent to
14.
govern, are not contingent
4.
on whether one agrees with
Another?
every action of the government at any given moment. To cancel Independence Day celebrations because of immigration enforcement is to elevate a single
13.
issue above
There's
the broader
17.
ideals that define
And the dealer
nation.
wins this
It
one.
is to say, in effect, that America is only worth celebrating
bets,
when
please.
it conforms to a particular ideological
And
vision.
that closes out the
That
bets.
is not unity.
Let's
it is
begin.
division dressed up as principle. Let us turn
Lucky
to history
13.
for a moment, for it
Got a
offers
7.
lessons that our current
Card.
debates often ignore. In the 19th century, Frederick Douglass, a man who knew the evils of oppression firsthand, spoke eloquently
And
about the
17.
promise of America,
Dealer wins.
even as he criticized its failures. In his 1852 speech,
Let's get those
What
bets
to
in.
the Slave is the 4th
Bets are
of July,
closed. Good luck.
Douglass acknowledged the hypocrisy of a nation that celebrated liberty,
Showing
often
9.
with millions in bondage. It
10.
did not call for the abolition of the holiday or the rejection of its ideals.
Would you like another card?
Instead, he demanded that America
16.
live up to those ideals. He saw the 4th of
That's
July
20.
not as a symbol of
And the
division,
dealer wins this
but as
one.
a challenge to make the nation better. Compare that to today's cancellations, which seem
Bets, please.
less about reform
And that closes
and
out
more
the
about
bets.
repudiation.
Let's begin.
Douglass understood that a nation's ideals
There's
are not
17.
diminished by its imperfections.
Showing 11.
They are the yardstick by which those
There's a
imperfections
blackjack.
are measured
Dealer
and
wins.
corrected. The decision to cancel July 4th celebrations also reflects a broader decline in civic virtue.
It's time for bets, please.
Civic virtue is not a phrase one hears much today,
Bets are
but it is
closed. Good
essential
luck.
to the survival of any free society. It is the
Showing
willingness
12.
to put the common good
10.
above personal or group grievances, to recognize that a nation
Another?
is more than the sum of its parts. When communities decide
That's
that
12.
they cannot celebrate their
13.
nation's founding
Card.
because of a policy dispute, they are signaling a retreat from that virtue. They are
Showing 16.
saying that their feelings
Would you like
take
another card?
precedence over the
Everything
shared
all right?
history and values that bind us together. This is a dangerous precedent,
And
for once we
17.
begin to see national holidays as
There's
optional,
17.
we erode the very foundation of national identity. The emotionalism driving these cancellations is
Let's
worth
get those bets in.
examining further.
And
We are
that
told that
closes
some
out the
residents
bets.
are
Let's
not in the
begin.
mood to celebrate America. Since when did
Got
feelings
18.
become the arbiter of civic life?
Lucky 7.
Governance is not
Another?
about moods, it's about principles and a consistent application
And
of laws.
17.
If we allow public policy or public celebrations to be dictated by who is in the mood, we open
Bets,
the door
please.
to chaos. Imagine if tax collection
Bets are
was
closed.
suspended
Good luck.
because taxpayers were not in the mood to pay,
Lucky
or criminal
13.
laws were enforced only
11.
when the community felt like it. The rule of law exists precisely to provide stability in the face of human emotions, which are fickle and
There's
often
20.
irrational.
And the
To
dealer wins this one.
subordinate a national holiday to such emotions It's to
Time for
undermine
bets,
the
please.
very order that makes
And
a
that
free
closes out the
society
bets.
possible.
Let's begin.
Let us consider the practical consequences of these
19.
cancellations. The 4th of
10.
July is not just a day for fireworks and barbecues.
Would
It
you
is
like
a
another
moment
card?
when communities come together, when families teach their children about the
There's
sacrifice
17.
to make this nation possible. When we reaffirm our commitment to the ideals of 1776.
Let's get those bets in.
To cancel these celebrations is to
Bets are
deprive a
closed.
generation
Good
of
luck.
that shared experience. It is to send a message
That's
that
20.
America's founding is
Showing
not
11.
worth commemorating, that its principles are negotiable,
Another?
that its history is a source of
There's
shame
20.
rather than pride. This is not progress. It is regression, a step toward a society that has
Bets, please.
forgotten what makes it distinct. The politicization
that
of the 4th
closes
of
out the
July
bets.
also raises
Let's
questions
begin.
about the state of American patriotism.
Showing
Patriotism
12.
is not blind
10.
allegiance to a government. It is a love of country rooted
Card.
in its founding principles. Those principles, liberty, equality
13.
under the law,
That's
the right
20.
to self-governance,
Would you like
are
another card?
universal in their appeal, yet uniquely American in their expression. To reject them because of a disagreement over immigration
Ready to
policy
play?
is to confuse
Another?
the part with the
Everything
whole.
all right?
It is like refusing to honor your
14.
family because you
Card.
dislike one of its
Ready to
members.
play?
America's not perfect, but no nation is. What sets America apart is its
There's
capacity
20.
for self.
Would you like another card?
Its
Everything all
ability
right?
to confront its flaws while holding fast to
That's
its
12.
ideals. That capacity is what the 4th of July celebrates. And to abandon it is to abandon the very mechanism
Time
that
for
has
bets,
made
please.
progress possible.
Bets are
We should also
closed.
consider
Good
the
luck.
message these cancellations send to the world. The United States has
And
long
9.
been a beacon of hope for
5.
those seeking freedom and opportunity.
Another?
The 4th of July is a global symbol of that promise, a reminder
at
that
18.
a nation founded on ideas can endure
Lucky
thrive.
13.
When we cancel those celebrations, we signal to the world and to ourselves that we no longer believe in
Let's
that
get those
promise.
bets in.
We tell aspiring immigrants, legal and otherwise, that the America they dream of is not worth celebrating. This is
And
not
that closes
action.
out the
It is
bets.
capitulation,
Let's begin.
a surrender to the forces of division and
Got
despair.
18.
The role of government in this
Showing a
matter
3.
is also worth examining. Local officials who cancel these celebrations
Showing
are
6.
not acting in a vacuum. They are responding
first
to
goes the
pressures,
dealer.
both real and perceived, from their communities. But leadership is not about pandering to the loudest voices. It is about
Bets,
making
please.
decisions that serve the long-term interest of the whole. By
Bets are
canceling the 4th
closed.
of
Good
July,
luck.
these officials are prioritizing short-term appeasement over
Showing
the
9.
long-term health of their communities.
10.
They are signaling that division
Would you like another
is
card?
stronger than unity.
Sitting
that
at 18.
grievances outweigh
Another?
gratitude. This is not leadership; it is followership,
And
and it
17.
bodes ill for the future of self-governance. This brings us to a fundamental question: what does it mean?
Time
to
for
be
bets,
American?
please.
Is it merely a matter
And
of
that
geography,
closes out the
of living
bets.
within certain
Let's begin.
borders, or is it a commitment to a set of ideas?
Showing 19.
A willingness to abide by
8.
the laws that
Card.
sustain those ideas. The 4th of July is a reminder that America is not just a place, it is a
Got
project,
18.
an ongoing experiment in self-governance. To celebrate it is to affirm that project, to say that we believe in its potential
Let's get those
even
bets
when
in.
we fall short. To cancel it is to walk away from
Bets
that
are
project,
closed.
to
Good
suggest
luck.
that the experiment is not worth continuing. That is a
Got
choice
5.
with consequences far
10.
beyond a single holiday. In closing,
Would you
let
like
me
another
say
card?
this. The cancellation
10.
of July 4th
Another?
celebrations in Southern California is not just a local story. It is a warning.
That's
It
20.
tells us that we are
Card.
losing the ability to see ourselves as one
There's
nation
20.
bound by shared principles and a common purpose. It tells us that we are allowing
Bets,
emotions
please.
to override reason, grievances to overshadow
And that
gratitude,
closes out the
and
bets.
division
Let's
to
begin.
triumph over unity. The 4th of July
There's
is
17.
not just a day,
3.
it's a symbol of what makes
Would you like
America
another card?
possible. If we cannot celebrate it, we must ask ourselves what we are willing to stand for. For if we abandon
13.
the principles of
The dealer has
1776,
bust.
we risk losing not just a holiday, but the very foundation of the nation itself. Let us hope that reason prevails, that
Time for
civic
bets,
virtue endures, and that we
Bets are
find the
closed.
courage
Good
to
luck.
celebrate America not as it is, but as it
19.
can be.
11. Another?